Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Legion of Lads. I'm your host, JR, and today we got Jose and Nick. What's going on, guys?
Yo.
Hello.
So, today we're going to talk about Vetfest. Again, I'm going to throw it down your guys' throat. It's on the 13th. Lists have to be locked in by the 11th, which, I don't know. Has anyone put their list up yet?
I haven't even bought the ticket yet.
But you registered on Launchings, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Nick? Have you put your list in yet?
I haven't yet, no, but I'm gonna play Rebels. You start with Grogu and then you build the list from there. So
Yeah. Roman said 11th is the last day you can turn your list, so go ahead and make sure you do that. If anybody that's already signed up, make sure you get your access pass or your entrance pass on Vetfest. I don't think they run out, right? There's a limited.
It's not enough for us to run out. We're not
Yeah.
that big yet.
yeah, I don't think they were at capacity, so I don't think that's
Last
an
year,
issue.
the last year there was a number and they didn't even get close.
Okay. Well, yeah.
We're gonna change that.
So you can buy it anytime. The Vetfest actually starts on the 12th, and then the tournament is on the 13th. If you want to get some MCP practice or check out the game, Nick is doing. Was it just Learn to Plays on Friday?
Learn to play is play. I mean, just a night of MCP.
Yeah, on the 12th, right?
Yeah, on that Friday.
That Friday, and then on the 14th, the league is gonna wrap up, and we're gonna do our league battles. Whoever's on the top two of each league, and then the promotion battle for the Lisa League.
What time does the hall close? Because I'm right now I'm only playing Saturday. Because I got my daughter's birthday on Sunday and I work on Friday. But depending on when time the venue closes, I might swing by after work because I think I'll be at the Clovis location, so I'll be down the street.
Yeah,
I believe it closes at 9 or 10.
Okay, so if it closes at 10, I'll swing by.
Yeah, so anybody listening to this that wants to make a trip to Fresno or any of our local players that haven't joined, it is a LVO qualifier. So if you win that, you get to go to LVO, which would be cool because you could come with the boys. We always make it a fun trip to go out there and have fun.
And you get to hang out with the lads, which is the coolest part.
Yeah, so I'm excited for what Roman's gonna do with this year's jerseys. Like, I feel like we all should be repping the jerseys. I think that'd be cool.
He said Wookiees. I'm confused. Is it like fur involved?
I'd be down for that.
Be hot, dude.
I'll wear it on my shirt, on my shoulder.
Oh no.
I think they'll just be brown. Hopefully, they'll be brown.
With the satchel,
turds.
a satchel like right here. Yeah. I mean, what could you do for Rebels? Right? Like, what is that? What kind of outfit do they got?
You could do the fighter pilots
or fleet troopers.
Oh, you could do fleet troopers. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's gonna be exciting. LVO January. So, moving on from that. Now, last episode, me and Jose got to talk about Miniextravaganza at the end of July. That's when it's gonna happen, and what we are hoping to see and expect to see. So, Nick, we need your take, my man. What do you think?
As far as like new stuff,
whatever you think.
Well, here, I'll start it off by what's being posted.
Oh no, I remember the post. I do think, well, it seems at least that it's going to be objectives, right? That one panel is going to be new objectives or different or something. That's what it appears to be. But the only reason why I think it's not that is because the core set's coming out next year. So would they give us new objectives now with a new core set coming out? That's probably going to. But they're gonna. I don't know. I guess maybe I don't want to get my hopes too high because that's what I would like. I would love new objectives. I would love new objectives. So I feel like that's not what we're gonna get.
What do you think we're gonna get?
Well, I think it's probably given we're gonna get to see the Sleeper Cell and Riot cards, right? We're gonna get to see their unit cards. I would be very shocked if we don't get to see their cards. And we're gonna get to finally put to bed if they're core or special forces, because I think they're special forces. I don't think they're core.
The Rebel Cells?
Yeah, both. I don't think they're core. I think they're special forces. Yeah, both.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
No.
I think they need to. I personally want them to have incognito. I think that's why I think there's not a core. Is because they're gonna have incognito and you can only bring 3 of them.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully we'll get to see those and see what those are going to be like, because that's going to be a big decider for me on what I do going forward.
He's
What
gonna cut
else?
Grogu.
No, I'm not going to cut Grogu.
Wait,
Dang
that was very ominous. What are you gonna do going forward?
I need something.
He's like, I'm gonna sell my Legion stuff, guys. Sorry.
No, nothing like that. But I
He's gonna
do
play
want
EXD.
something new for my rebels. We haven't got nothing. So
You
I
got
want
Bad Batch.
that's a mercenary.
That is a mercenary. Yeah.
Not a mercenary. It's not a rebel unit.
And it's not that.
Although I like it.
I heard it's trash and Rebels.
No, it's not trash. It's not trash. It's just not as good.
Yeah.
But
Well, trash.
well, so it's not as good as killing things. It's still a great unit to grab objectives. The rebels don't have a red save, 10 health unit to go grab an objective. That doesn't exist.
You got
We don't have that.
K2. He could sneak on there, grab a box
He's
and
not
run.
10 health.
He's not 10 health. He's got 5. And he doesn't surge. And the Bad Batch will get their 2. They're reliable too. So we don't have a as durable unit to go do that. The most durable we got is like OP Luke, right, with his 7 health, right? That's all we got. So this is even more health than that, and for way less points. So that's what it is for Rebels. You're not going to use Bad Batch to go shoot.
Some people would say Luke's unkillable.
Well, just that statement alone is that a 10 health unit with red saves, surge, practically surge defend, a crazy output dice, less than OP Luke. Like, oh my god, I don't know.
Did you hear the last episode of Notorious Scoundrels? Like, they proxied Bad Batch that whole tournament and they were blah. Like, Commandos are still better. Like, that's crazy. Like,
Well,
I think it's overhyped. Like, it's crazy. I'm
we always,
overhyped, but
yeah, we always overhype them, and yes, there's probably some truth. There's definitely some truth to that for sure, because the rebels around them are not that great, right? So you're really putting all your eggs in that basket, right? So I get that, but even if they're not as great as we think, they're still better than what I can run now. So in the rebel army, I get it, because clones is totally different, because you have Yoda, you get to play Crosshair. It's a totally different unit, but they're still probably very usable in Rebels.
the minis are cool though.
Yeah. I'm gonna paint mine more colorful, like in the season 2.
I'm gonna have Nick's gonna love this medieval Bad Batch. That's what.
I need the money, Nick. Don't judge me.
Okay, so I wanted to circle back to the war table, new battle orders. What would you guys feel if it was they just threw away the battle deck and just like, all right, it's random. You shuffle the deck, and what you pull the first card on each one, that's what you're playing.
That'd be dope. I would like that.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, I'd like that.
Because you're putting yourself in a hole on a skew. It gets rid of the bid. It's really bring what you got and hope that you get a good pull.
They still need to change the deck, though. They still need. Probably one of the problems I have with the deck right now is I feel like too often you can walk up to a table, pick your objective, and be like, "Oh, I already lost." And even if you're not already lost, it's like, man, I am at a big disadvantage, like just from the start, without even deploying a mini. That's what I don't like. I think, and the objectives have been so stale. Everyone knows how to play them. There's tricks for them, how to just kind of take that right out from your opponent. So yeah, that's why I want them to change.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I would have fun doing random. Like, I think they already solved the issue of whoever's got the least bid wins ties. So it's just like shoot for 800 and then random it up. Like, oh, hey, I brought staff. Oh, got bombing run randomly. Cool. That favors me, It'd be cool. Let's see what else they said.
Okay, so besides the units that were revealed, are you thinking that they're going to reveal units we haven't seen?
Yes. Oh yeah.
What would you like to see? You personally, like, if your mini extravaganza always has this one unit where it's like, oh my god, like that one year it was Mando and freaking Gideon. We're just like, oh my god, what units would blow Nick's top for mini extravaganza? They're just like, and introducing, boom, like what unit?
I know. Don't even say it.
Can you say you know what it is? What is it?
I want to say the rest of Ghost Squad.
That is a good choice. Yes, that's probably number 2. I would love
Okay.
the rest of Ghost Squad. Yeah. But no, actually, Rogue One.
Oh
Give
yeah,
me
duh.
give me
Yeah.
Baze, give me Chariot, give me a Rogue
Oh,
One Battle Force, give me special rules for Pathfinders. That's what I would like.
Which,
okay.
last year they
That's
announced
sick.
Battle Forces, so maybe they'll announce a Rogue One Battle Force.
It's crazy that it hasn't happened like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What fascinates me is that like they came out with, Jin or so, and then later Cassian, and then they come out with Sabine. It's like where did it get lost? Where they're just like, all right, we're gonna stop working on these characters, move on to another character. You know what I mean? Like they didn't complete these characters' story arc, I guess you could
Would
say.
for say they do release Ghost Crew, are you wanting them separate different slots, or would you like them Bad Batch style where it's Kanan, Ezra, Chopper, Zeb in one group like Bad Batch?
I want both. If I had my pick, I would want uh Kanan and Ezra kind of like the Inquisitors, where they take their same spot, but one doesn't fill it. So
Mm-hmm.
I would want single models for those. But
Makes sense.
for Hera, Chopper, and Zeb, I would be okay if those were more like a Bad Batch unit, like them all part of one unit, and upgrade cards for each one.
What
And this is
about
and this is
keyword where
why,
you can add the Sabine miniature into the group?
and even add Sabine to that, right? Make a card for her. And I saw your face, JR, and I don't know why you don't like this kind of building, because that allows me to bring them all. If they're all separate operative models, I can't bring them all. I have to have a way to be able to bring all of them.
I guess, and I kind of understand, but it's like then we're kind of playing Shadowpoint at that point, right?
No,
No,
no, no, the
no,
complete opposite. The complete opposite. Shatterpoint, they
no.
are individual models,
Mm. Yeah,
so
but like a whole squad running around on the battlefield, I'm just like, I don't know. Bad Batch, I get, like, I get it, but like, I don't know. It feels weird to me sometimes. I'm just like, this whole squad just running up together in
That's
arms,
what
like,
they do.
yeah, and that's why it could be both, right? You could separate the force users, right? Put them in their own models because they are powerful. They should be probably part of a squad, right?
yeah,
But then you don't need a Hera model. At least I don't think so. Like, because she wasn't even. I mean, she was mostly flying the ship. She's mostly up in the sky flying the ship most of the time. So it doesn't even make sense to make a commander just of her.
you know what I could see is
A pilot Hera.
no, yeah, you could do a pilot Hera and like one of their airspeeder maybe, but like it could be a command card. Hera be on the command card, the player, like support from the ghost,
Hmm.
the ghost ship. Um, but I don't
For
know, just like I feel like you might have the same problem with Rebels is the hero hammer, right? All these heroes, not enough command cards to play them all the time, and then you're just like takes up most of your army anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's why I mean, they've kind of already done this with some of the Amandos and the ISF, right? We have you know, we have upgrade cards for those special guys, special units. So put Hera, Zeb, and Chopper as a special forces unit, right? So you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
taking away from your commander and operative slots, because they don't have to be like. I mean, I know people want to be good, but they don't necessarily have to be these super powered characters. They weren't
just
like,
cool support
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
No, I agree with you because I like what they did with Rogue One. Like they got the Pathfinders, and you can put Bastan in there, or the other guys. Like
How?
I would, yeah, pal. I would like to see that more. I kind of wish Bad Batch was the special forces because like it didn't really need to be an operative in my opinion. Um,
They're operatives.
I wish
are
they weren't.
they?
Yeah.
For clones, yes. I wish they weren't operatives for rebels. They should have been special forces for rebels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, operatives. I mean, they're more like special forces running in the clones. Like they go off these special missions. You know what I mean? So
for for me, I've been begging and pleading. It's got it. Qui-Gon has to come. I'm fingers crossed for Qui-Gon and fingers crossed for Mace.
I don't know what it is about Qui-Gon. I don't know what what is going on, but they don't make him in anything. He's not in anything.
I thought he
He's
was an X-wing. No.
no, no,
You know
no.
what? You know what I bet it is. I bet it's a legal thing, and it's a Liam Neeson. You
I,
know.
I don't. Yeah, it's like is he the one actor that didn't get his right signed
Bro,
away?
then make
I
him
don't
look like
No.
the Qui-Gon from
I
the
I,
animated series.
no, I'm sure that's not it, but it is just kind of weird that he's not in anything. Like he's not in Shatterpoint either. They've made so many of the Jedi, and he's not in
Yeah.
Shatterpoint either.
And Gungans. Mace, Qui-Gon, and
Okay,
Gungans.
I'm gonna follow through on this because that is really weird. Like we even saw him in Obi-Wan. So I mean, he's in Obi-Wan, the show. So
Yeah.
like, why isn't he in? That's kind of weird. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it, guys. I'm gonna do some fishing, digging some dirt. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping for new battle forces. As much as I hark on battle forces and everything, it would like be nice to play different ones.
Yeah, no, more battle forces. 20 more.
No,
20 more
no.
battle forces. Just add one every week.
We definitely know we got to get the Geonosians because right now those guys.
So
need
they're gonna
something.
change the name from Star Wars Legion to Star Wars Battle Force.
It's like the genie's already out of the bottle. You can't put it back. Just give me more. And finally, give me a good one. I would like a good battle force, please. Stop giving me
You
these
got
crappy battle
one.
forces.
They're Ewoks.
No,
Okay?
that's not a rebel battle force. That's not a that's
They're-
Ewok.
They
That's
are worthy. They are above rebels. They
That's
are
a
worthy to be
mercenary
above.
battle force that brings rebel heroes.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's not a rebel army.
Yeah, they're doing a Rogue One would be cool. I hope they do that. That would be cool to see that. Even like I said, Ghost, like all that stuff would be cool to see.
If they announce prequel or the sequel factions, that'd be sick.
No,
Yeah.
we're still ways out from that.
You think
Ways
so?
out.
You can
Oh,
announce it. You can
No,
announce it.
because they're making that new core box next year. They're not
Yeah,
going to bring out, but
options.
they're not going to bring out another core box with the core box, like because they're going to want to sell those core boxes. So they're just going to bring out They're not going to do it at all that once.
But what if they're interchangeable? Like the First Order, you can bring those minis into Empire, or you could bring the Resistance into Rebels, or vice versa. That just makes them more money.
No, because that's not more models. They make money by selling models, not by anything else. So
You don't think Disney's like on them of trying to push the sequel stuff? Because like that's exactly why we got Ahsoka, the Rebel Ahsoka, because of the Ahsoka show, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like they're still pushing for that, like bring out the more stuff that we're working on right now.
but they're not working on any sequel things, though.
Mandalorian.
So-
Yeah, the race.
Mandalorian's not sequel. It's in between.
But the Mando movie's supposed
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
set
Well,
to come out in 26, and
the
then
Rey movie,
the Rey movie, yeah, dude.
Yeah, but that's still that's even farther out though.
Look, I want to
But
put
that's supposed to
Kylo
come
on the
out.
table. That's it.
Because unless it's changed again, the Mando movie's coming out first, so that's not coming out till I think 26, right? So the Rey
26.
movie's not coming out till 28.
All right, here's my hot take about that one: is Rey is building the new Jedi Order, and the villain is Darth Maul. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Let it go.
I don't think so. I think it's highly more likely that we get the sequel trilogy in Shatterpoint before we get that Legion.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to me because FFG, with Star Wars Unlimited, they're just doing right now the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
So it's like there's got to be some push from the Disney to be like, hey, push this new stuff.
bro. Shatterpoint, the Kylo box would have him in the Knights of Ren. That'd be sick.
Yeah. It'd be cool.
All right, carry on. Next one, we've sidetracked.
Riot Troopers. You think they're core? Or what rank do you think they're gonna be, Nick?
I think Special Forces. Yeah, I don't think they're core. I may be totally wrong, but I don't think they're core. I guess I'm hoping they're core, but I think they're Special Forces.
I agree.
No.
I feel like you guys already got 3 cores. Why do you need a 4th one?
Here's why.
Mhm.
This is an updated core card, which is going to replace the current Stormtrooper card, and the Riot Shield and the Baton guys are new heavies.
No, because again, they're gonna save that core card for the core box. They're saving all of that for the
You
core
can make that
box.
on the back end by doing a card pack. They just did that.
But they don't. I think at least it's pretty clear they don't want to do card packs with Legion. Because if they did, they would have already released way more of them. I think they're trying to limit that. They want to make
I hate
models,
that.
sell boxes of models, which
I
I don't
hate-
blame them. That's what they need to do.
With people buying 3D printed models, I mean, cutting in their bottom line.
Hey man,
I don't know who would do that.
My Samurai Vader looks better than their Vader. I'm saying it right now.
Well, the new Vader's coming out. The new hard plastic Vader's going to be out in the new core box.
I hate that they don't do neutral upgrades no more, and they're gonna do special or new force powers.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, that's what happened to the neutral upgrades. They're gone. We haven't seen a new one of those in forever.
Yeah, it was always exciting when a new force user was coming out. Cause like, what's the new force power we're gonna get? And now it's just like, all right.
The last new force power was moving a barricade.
Yep, force
I love that force power.
Oh, Nick, you're something else. Grogu and moving a barricade is what he does.
Yep.
I guess the only thing else that it seems like that they're announcing in Extravaganza is the terrain. How do you feel about the terrain?
I like it if it's tall enough, if that wall is tall enough to block, actually block line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for those boxes. I buy their terrain. I know I shouldn't, I guess.
Exactly. Thank you. At least he admits he has a problem.
Yeah, I buy their terrain, even though they're usually pretty expensive. It's nice terrain for sure.
It's overpriced.
Here's the most important question right here. Are you team more line of sight or team more open?
I'm team change cover to 2D.
But that means everything will be hidden.
No, there's a way you can make it work. But definitely more line of sight. Yeah. There's and put it in the right place. Why is it?
Do you think the game has gotten out of control with the amount of long range stuff they've put in?
I wouldn't say out of control. I mean, it's obviously powerful. I think they just need to provide, that same kind of unit to the other armies. So I think we saw that a lot more like back in the day, right? You'd get a kind of a corresponding unit, right, for both armies.
Sniper.
Yeah, and again, not that it has to be exactly like that, but the range troopers came out, the clone commandos came out. So Empire and Rebels are about to get theirs, but they don't look like long range units, so they at least we don't know, but they don't look like that. So are they going to be good enough to kind of still counteract what the other armies are getting?
I'm telling you, they're going to be range 1 to 2, but they're going to have incognito. That's what's going to make them good.
Man, I don't think you can give even their special forces. I don't think you can give a unit you could put 3 of on the table incognito. That seems
well. Here's the drawback, right? They're range 1 to 2, and they save like shit, and they attack like horrible. So,
but even with that, with the current objectives we have, they would have to change, because I could definitely probably get those objectives without getting in range 1 where you can shoot me. Doesn't matter if my save stink.
Which I think would be fine, because like that gives an incentive for because like in my opinion, how the game is right now is just like, all right, I'm gonna shoot you from way over here because I have longer guns than you, and then hopefully the nutrition game I win, right?
Nutrition.
Where it's like if I have
nutrition.
Thank you. Double sleeper cells with incognito, and I'm moving up to the box, not so much. You got to come to me. Like, you got to move forward to my other guns, or else I'm just going to snag it and move,
So I heard this on another podcast, and I apologize, I'm not giving them credit. I forget which one. But their idea was that those sleeper cell units, when you pay points for the sleeper cell, you actually attach the minis to their units. Oh. And like, so like a unit, like you attach one of your minis to their unit, and it does things to their unit that they're not aware that's doing to them, right? Because they think it's part of them.
Well, what did you know? Like, oh, this stormtrooper has the rebel sleeper in it, so.
But they can't do. But so it'd be like something where like they can't do anything to it or something, right? And it's taking away their aims, or slowing them down, or whatever it is. I think that would be kind of fun to actually pay for something to put into your opponent's army.
I think that'd be an instant win.
I don't know if it's instant.
Because if I have a unit that can mess up your army within that you can't do anything about it.
Can I choke it? Like if I have Vader or Dooku, can I just choke it out of my squad? Because it's technically not friendly.
Yeah. And not the whole unit, but just like one
Oh, yeah,
one model you can put over there. I don't think that would be too game breaking.
It depends on
I
what
don't
it do, I guess, you know?
Yeah. What does it do? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a kind of a neat idea. That's different.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
I guess that's what I want. I want something different. I want Sleeper Cell to do something different.
Mhm. Yeah, I know they got the crab droid and the fish droid coming out.
Aqua droid.
Aqua droid. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's gonna be enough, but I'm excited for it. Hopefully it does more something. I don't know. But all right, boys. Got Nick's hot take on Extravaganza. I'm excited for it. When that's gonna be a week after Vetfest. I gotta say, there's so much coming out in July that I'm like super stoked for it. You got Star Wars Unlimited this week again,
Pre-release.
and then you got Vetfest, then you got Extravaganza. Like this month's gonna fly by.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
So Nick,
And the train wreck acolyte ends this month too, so we're good.
I haven't seen the new episode. The last episode I thought was pretty good.
It was good. This last episode is Thirst Trap, Sith Thirst Trap.
Yeah,
I've liked the Acolyte. I've liked it.
Nick, no, it's breaking canon. You shut your mouth.
No, it's not breaking canon.
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I won't spoil anything. Yeah, I like it. It's probably the only one thing. Oh, I guess I won't say it because of spoilers. I won't say it. But
yeah,
we need Kratosis in the game as an upgrade.
What? I don't know.
Kratosis.
Anyways.
No, it's not a spoiler. It's the metal that the guy's helmet was made out of. It's from Legends. It shorts out lightsabers. Could you imagine that as an upgrade, like against a Jedi? Like they're already bad, and now I'm going to turn your lightsaber off.
I mean,
we already have that. The keyword's called deflect.
well, we have something even better. It's called Inquisitor training.
Yeah,
Just top force powers. Oh man. Okay. So Nick, you got your game in with Rob. Tell us how it went.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. I had a lot of fun. I'm so happy Rob's not here. Rob, so disclaimer, Rob, I apologize for everything I'm about to say. It's really sad you're not here to defend yourself. So we're gonna get a really one-sided battle report. I tell you, near the end there, I almost had to take that guy and wash his mouth out with soap. So it was so bad.
He's like, in my house too.
Yeah. So list. I brought a similar list I played before. So with Wicket and OP Luke.
Hold on.
Was it legal this time?
Who was your commander?
Yeah, I no, it was legal. I only bring illegal lists when I'm not really playing Legion. So yeah, Wicket with the Force Dwellers, OP Luke with Push, Speed, Mind Trick, and Frey, Mando with Grogu, Jetpack, Spear, and Comms Jammer, Ewok Skirmishers, Land Speeder with Shriv. Shriv's my commander. The Gonk Droid, the Gunner, and HQ Uplink. And then 2 Rebel Vets with the Comms Tech and the HQ Uplink, and the MK, 2 MKs. So 9 acts with that. I brought all of Luke's cards plus Grogu's card.
Was Rob playing the same Palpatine with Vader?
Yeah, and I tried to make his list, and it came out to like 852 points. So I must have something wrong. But, I know I must have something wrong. But I thought he brought Palp, and I could have swore he said it was Speed, Push, Barrier, and then he had Vader, OP Vader with Choke, Push, Seize, 3 Naked Storms, and then 3 Range Troopers. And this is where maybe I just didn't notice. And I thought they all had the extra guy in the gun.
No, they just have the gun.
They just have the gun. Okay,
Yeah,
that's the problem. But that's still 807.
It's
That's still 807. That's still 807 though. So maybe he didn't have one of these force powers I thought he had. So
Rob, you gotta defend yourself.
God, so he's gonna take all those losses now. All those wins go to losses, Rob. How dare you?
I'm sure it's right. I just must just be missing something that he had.
Are you using Legion HQ?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
No, Legion HQ works fine. So that was his list. So we ended up. So I was blue player, and for the first time ever, I feel like the flop was in my favor. It was like, oh, I like.
Hold on, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
I made his list.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's Palpatine, Anger, Force Barrier, Burst Speed, OP Vader with Force Choke, Force Push C's, 3 Naked Storms, and the Range Troopers with the DLT-20.
What would you have on Palp again?
Anger, Force Barrier, and Burst.
Oh, so he didn't have push.
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't take push with the.
Didn't have push.
Palpatine.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I
All
don't
right,
think you
that's
ever
what
take
it
push
is.
on Palpatine.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a little more sense then. If I
He's all,
remember
wait, he
correctly what
pushed me
happened.
during the game.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
He's all trying to recall
And so we end up playing Bombing Run and Long March with Clear.
Oh.
And he didn't like it, and he had to veto out limited viz.
You were blue player?
I was blue player. It's my deck.
Yeah, makes sense because you're 5 points under, right?
1 point.
1 point.
1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah. With this list, it's a little different than the one I played you. Upgrade wise, a little different upgrades.
Yeah.
And legal.
Well, again, he wasn't playing a leading list, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, so I gave my bombs to the speeder, and to Mando, and to Wicket.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Luke went in the speeder. I didn't give Luke because I put Luke in the speeder.
Right.
Oh no, a Luke missile.
Yeah. And he gave his bombs to 2 of the stormtroopers and 1 of the range troopers, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's wild because Luke one shots those storms.
Yeah, so it worked out where pretty much my Mando and all of my vets and MKs were on kind of one side of the Long March, and Wicket, he walks the speeder, and Luke were kind of on the other side. And he was all on that side too. All of his army except for 1 unit was on the side with Mando and my core. So nothing was over with my speeders and Wicket. So I was able to, right away. So we, move up. I almost thought I made too big of a mistake. I moved Mando way up behind a building, perfectly safe, but I forgot that he palped Vader up, right? He moved Vader with palp, and then Vader got to move again and move twice to get close enough to force push Mando out. So we force pushed Mando out on turn 1 and was able to take a couple shots on it. It worked out. Didn't hurt me too bad. I played Grogu's card. I had dodges. I think I took a wound or maybe nothing.
Card. I hate that card.
So even though I thought, oh crap, I made a mistake right there, it was okay. And it maybe kind of worked out because everything was there. So on turn 1, speeder zipped up and Luke popped out.
Were you able to shoot back at Vader?
No, because of the way the building was, I wasn't able to shoot on that turn.
Yeah.
That turn.
See, Nick, this is why Grogu's worth 17 points, because that card. It's a get out of jail free card.
No, it's not a get out of jail free card. I mean, it's nice, but I played it so much where like, okay, play it, and the guy rolls and they get like nothing. It's like, oh, well, that didn't do anything. So yeah. So Vader and Mando are already very close to each other. Luke gets out, so Luke's going in. He's already range 2, away from like most of his army. All of his storms and range troopers are still just sitting there with Palpatine. So turn 2, he plays the card that I have to go first with Luke.
Anger, or give it to Anger.
Yeah, and I play Luke's 2 pip that gives me the extra defense. Nice. So okay, I gotta go first with Luke. That's fine.
Did you see what your turn 1 card was?
Oh, it was just his 3 pip. Hand out some orders. Yeah.
And what was yours?
Mine was his was staying orders. Mine was just I'm a Jedi. Right? No, not I'm Jedi. What's Luke's 3 pip where he gives a dodge?
My allies the Force.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah. And then Full Surprises was turn 2.
That card's so good. So
Luke did have to go in earlier than I wanted him to, obviously having to go first, but he took out a unit, force pushed another unit into him just to make and now I remember, because I did that, Vader had to come back to force push Luke out so he could actually shoot him. And then Vader went back the other way back into Mando. So he goes back into Mando, and maybe a mistake by him. I mean, I feel like he had to do it anyways. I think he forgot that Mando had duelist. So I think he thought he was gonna pierce Mando.
Oh, you took the spear.
Yeah, I had the spear.
See, spear's better.
It's
Eh,
different. It's different.
It's okay.
It saved you in this game. Don't even lie.
It did save me in this game for sure, because I had the dodge and you couldn't pierce, so I took like a wound or two, but obviously I'm not dead and felt pretty good about that. But when he did that, he did have to commit Vader to that side, and now I could see him. So I withdrew Mando out of Vader, and that's when I started getting some shots on Vader. So
was it just 2 shots?
No, he said 2, I think.
He said 2. He said Vader's dead in 2. And
I remember it being more shots. One of them was a fire support shot from a full, not with the heavy, but the vets and the MK. So that was 9 black dice. That's it was a good shot. So it was a fire support shot. It was a few other shots, but I feel like it was more than 2. It was more than 2. And then that's happening over there. Vader is taking some wounds. He didn't roll terrible, but he rolled average, which means he was taking wounds, right? He wasn't rolling like all blocks. But he didn't like blank out on any roll, at least early on. So he was rolling about average, but it was dwindling away his wounds on that one. And while that's all happening, now Luke is in the middle of everything. The speeder just goes over, drops a bomb, and Wicket's just running down the other side of the table. He goes, drops his bomb. And at this point, Luke has already killed one unit that had a bomb. So there's a bomb that's still way over on his side that hasn't moved. So I'm already kind of getting ahead in that area, just like how well I'm moving my bombs down the table. He then, instead of playing Now You'll Die, he played Implacable for Vader to go.
Please
and then
tell me you hit him with the no attack Luke card. Please tell me you hit him with that.
No, because Luke was nowhere near Vader. Vader is way on the other side of the building with
just
Mando
hit Palpatine with it, and now you'll die. Sorry, buddy.
Hold on. Nick is gonna get to that part where he plays Now You'll Die, and that's when he played I Am a Jedi.
And then Rob flips the table.
So I never played I Am a Jedi.
Oh, come on.
Well,
do you even have that card?
I do.
Okay.
And I just didn't have to because I already beat him so badly, so it didn't matter at that point.
Beaten by the rebels?
So instead, I played You Serve Your Master Well.
Nice.
Because I took Jedi Mind Trick. So Luke was watching Palpatine, push his other units and having them shoot, and Luke's like, well, I could do that too. So I had one of his range shooters shoot the other range trooper, and it finished off that squad, and it dropped another bomb. So I had one range trooper shoot the other one, and then I went in and killed another unit, attacked another unit with Luke. And this is where Rob was getting a little frustrated with Luke, because Luke had at the end of one of the turns he had 9 suppression on him.
Yeah.
And then I was able to roll enough off just to get that one action, right? So
charge.
Yeah, I got to charge and was able to do my free actions. So that was key, because if I didn't roll that off, I would just not been able to do anything that turn. But I was saving good enough. I wasn't blanking out. I was next to everything. So I had tons of surges because I had Into the Fray. And I had dodges. I was zipping in the land speeder with Shriv to give another dodge, and then turning it back and going back around. So I was able to give Luke more dodges.
Did he ever shoot at Shriv?
No, that'd be waste.
No, he didn't actually. I'm trying to think. Either shot him at once or not at all. No,
the smart thing would be not to shoot him.
I had the Gonk droid on there as well. I mean, he did have the impact gun, but I think at that point, the speeder had already dropped his bomb, so the speeder was not doing anything objective-wise. I didn't have a gun, really. So yes, I was getting the dodge up. I think he was just too focused on Luke, trying to get Luke out of there.
Yeah, makes sense. If Luke goes down, then that's a big deal.
This is it's classic Luke gameplay is what we're hearing. Put the game on his back.
It took 3 Siths to take him out of my game.
So yeah, then after Vader did get to do his implacable, he did kill Mando.
He took the wound like on his already wounded Vader, like he was that much in the corner.
Yeah, he took the wound on the already wounded Vader. I think that was like maybe his 4th or 5th wound too.
That's wild.
But he did kill Mando, and so Mando had a bomb and Grogu. So Vader is now standing there with hadn't picked it up, but he's standing there with a bomb and with Grogu. So essentially 2 victory points he could get. But then he did blink out on a save. So my vet shot him again. I think he rolled 3 or 4 dice and like blinked on 3 of them, and that was enough to kill him, and he died. So he's not looking really good. So my bomb Grogu's there. He hasn't even gotten any of his bombs like more than like 1 move away from his deployment zone yet.
Oof.
In Long March. There was
what round is this?
This was round, let's see, that would have been round 3 when Vader died, I believe.
Oh yeah, then he's not making those bombs at all. That's game.
Well, no, he still could.
Long March?
By moving. I mean, you guys still got 3 more turns possibly, right? So
but you got he has Luke with force pull. He has to go the entire distance of Long March just double moving. Like that's game.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't look good. It wasn't officially game. It didn't look good. He did finally play Now You Will Die. Actually before that. So before he played the turn before, he did finally kill Luke. So Luke did finally die. But for icing on the cake, he finally killed him with Palpatine, and I deflected 2 wounds back on the Palpatine.
You know, it's funny. In my game against Rob, we were just talking about, he was telling me how much he hates to shoot at anybody with deflect because instant wounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he took 2 wounds of Palpatine, and that I feel like was the key thing that happened, because when he did not die, he lost 2 attacks. Yeah. He lost 2 attacks on that, and then he only killed 1 unit with Now You Will Die, and only wounded 2 other units. That's all he did with it. And then Palpatine went down to 1 wound. Oh. So that was key, because if he had those 2 extra attacks, he could have taken out 2 more of my activation. He could have taken out 3 acts in 1 turn, which would have really flipped it a little bit. So but then I finally, he finally tries to come around with his range troopers. We're doing a lot of maneuvering, standby shenanigans. Like I'm doing things like to try to block him out and stuff. He does finally come in. I base him with the unit, just with a standby, base him just so he can't leave. He attacks, doesn't kill it, and then we finally called it. Because then at that point he wasn't going to be able to get any of his bombs to the other side.
How many points did you have at this point?
I had 2.
Yeah,
because my other bomb was sitting there with the dead Grogu.
And then did Wicket do anything else?
The only thing Wicket was about to do, but the game was called. So when we called the game,
Palpatine.
Yes.
Yes.
So I didn't get to do it, and I didn't roll. But my last activation that turn was to move Wicket and shoot. I couldn't get into charge range that turn, but I could shoot his one red die at Palpatine, who is now mobilized on 1 wound, just sitting out in the open. So not that he would have died, but it would have been funny. Now, next turn, I definitely would have been able to charge him with Wicket.
Elderly abuse.
But and really, this game, to be honest, wasn't all that different from yours and my game, JR.
Mm.
It was this difference was just that his units died and yours didn't. That was pretty much it. And because even with like Force Push didn't play too much of a role, just because I got pushed out anyways. So it wasn't like I was never buried, in there. Luke did take a lot of shots. but having the dodges, having the surges, was what really kept me going.
Yeah. So the lesson here, guys, is salt your dice. That's what you need to do.
That's the weekly message he keeps putting out.
So yeah, so in the end, Rob commended me on my excellent Legion play. He never seen a strategist quite like myself. Lots of accolades, praise. So
the Bowie
yeah,
and everything.
Yeah, you don't need to ask him any questions. That's pretty much how it happened.
I just gotta say, Luke, best Sith there is. He's the best Sith out there, man. He just kills things left and right. This guy's that he's a good guy. Nah, he's the better Sith. He just maxed it well. That's what it is.
Not a Sith. He's the good guy.
Well, that sounds like a hell of a game and a fun game.
Dude, I would have loved to watch that. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he was all salty at the end. He was salty. Yeah.
I would have tried to do the shutdown card right when you try to time it. So when he does his anger or his now you'll die, you hit him with a nope, and then watch him just be like, ugh.
I did think about playing I'm a Jedi, but because I knew probably Luke was going to die that next turn. But I played the Survey Master well because I was able to make his unit his another unit drop a bomb with that by having his unit shoot his other unit that dropped another bomb that was what we needed to do, right? We needed to get those bombs on and I at this point I already knew I had 2. Yeah. And I probably was never going to get my 3rd. So I just need to stop 2 of his.
So you alluded to a player's intent.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Please enlighten us.
Oh yes,
Jose could use some lesson on intent.
Hey, I bet so much better. You better walk that back.
So don't worry, Jose. You're not alone. Rob needs some lessons too. So we're gonna educate all of you here. And again, Rob, I'm so sorry for everything I'm about to say, but I'm so happy you're not on there. Okay, there is playing with intent, and then there's just I want to do everything that I can't do. And I kind of posing a question to the group. What do you consider playing intent? Because I'll tell you what I consider playing intent. Playing with intent in a miniatures game is I move my mini, I move it way up here. Oh, look at range 3 is back here. I'm going to move it back a little bit. Hey, my guy's stopping at range 3. Like I'm playing with intent. I stop there. Mm-hmm. I don't think playing intent is, it looks like if I speed 2 around this building, I can get to this spot and touch this objective and not have you see me and also be range 1 of this over here. Yeah, it looks like I can do that. Well, it may look like it, but I'm not going to agree that you can do it. We're going to have to move your miniature. You're going to have to want to do it, and then we'll see where it lands. Yep. Like I don't agree that intent is estimating what I can do, and then if I can't do it, but we said I could.
Right.
Did he use multiple measuring tools when
he was cheating so much?
Because I told him in my game with Rob, he did something similar to what you just said, and I'm like, that's cool. I said, but you broke a rule. He's like, what do you mean? I said, rules in the competitive format is you can only use 1 range ruler and you can use 1 speed tool, because he had a range ruler, speed tool, speed 2 range ruler, and I'm
actually gonna stick up for Rob on this one.
Like, he brought wait, he brought yellow orange cylinders.
Oh, I know, he did it in our game too.
Yeah. And again, Rob, I love you, Rob. This is all in good fun, but I'm gonna rip you apart. So,
I will defend on the multiple using the tools. I understand it's an actual rule, but
there's error. No. There's error, because if you can use a bazillion tools to make sure you're gonna get where you need to be, like, number 1, you're taking time away from the game, and number 2, you're taking out the human error. If you're gonna say that I can do this, then you need to take the shot and do it. Not let me pre-measure for 40 minutes. You either make it or you don't. And if you don't make it, you live with that consequence, which is the nifty rule of when you let go of your mini, that's it.
But there's no amount of tools that you use that will change if you're there or they're not, right?
But it changes
it changes you're going to do it though, right? Yeah, it changes your decision.
Sure. It changes like, okay, if I could do this. But I feel like just a movement tool and a range tool alone is able to do it just fine to figure that out.
You would think, but that's
I think newer players tend to use more tools. I'm not saying Rob's a newer player, but just saying in general from what I've seen from the Bart League, they're using more tools to like.
And they should not be doing that. You should be telling them they shouldn't be doing that.
We don't get too crazy until they're ready to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing.
Try to have fun at that point.
You're taking John to LVO. You know what's going to happen to him when he does that? They're going to call a judge. He's going to get a flag for it.
No, because I never said John's the one that uses multiple tools. I'm just saying, like, I understand why people do it, and I don't think it changes the outcome, right? Other than deciding if I'm going to do it or not. And I do agree with Nick that intent is like, okay, I can clearly get beyond range 3, but I want to be at range 3. Because, like, that came up in my game, too, is Vader was in his deployment, and Bad Batch, I played Bad Batch's card where you could do speed 3. And he was trying to say already, like, oh, see, if it, like, Bad Batch hadn't even moved yet. But he's like, oh, yeah, Bad Batch could have given me a range 2 and everything. And I didn't agree or disagree. And then I was just like, oh, I'll move Bad Batch there. And now I'm in range 2. It's like, I thought we were agreed. Like, I never said it was, but clearly you can see that too and everything. So I do agree with you on that.
Yeah. I don't like, trying to, I think sometimes it's trying to use all these tools to take out the imperfection of what a miniatures game is. It's like you're trying to play a video game instead of playing a miniatures game. And you will make moves and not make it. Like you think you could, and then you didn't. And I so many times I think, oh, I'm gonna make it. Oh, I don't. Oh, shoot, my unit's out. That's. I mean, to me, I'm the old guy here. That's miniatures. That's miniature gaming. That's how it's been since the day before. And so and there were 3 times in our game where it came up. And one of them I'll take some responsibility for. But the other 2, I ain't taking no responsibility for it. Because the other 2 times he said, "Oh, do you think if I move here I could do this?" My answers were maybe, I don't know, I don't think so. So
I'm gonna put
that's my responses. So when he didn't make it, that was my response. Now there was one where I guess he meant to be at range 1 of something, and I guess he said he intended to. I don't recall. But he also didn't want to be shot by this other unit. So I think I was more focused on that. Like, oh, you'll need to place him there to not be shot at. So I think I will take first, but I missed that he also wanted to be range 1 of this other unit. So yeah, it's just like,
I'm starting to think Rob used his word kung fu to wiggle his way to get his LVO invite now. That's what I'm thinking. He got his opponents to agree to just outright shenanigans, 30 different tools. I'm kidding.
No, and I know I know other players play that way. Like that's not like a unique situation, right?
Nah, you better put them tools away.
That's just not how I play. And I probably could have been more adamant, but I am a nice guy. I'm not taking it very seriously, so I'm kind of like, oh yeah, But I guess in hindsight, I could have just said no. Like, can I move here? No. Like, but also see, I also don't feel right saying no when I don't know. Like, right. It's like, well, if you move there, maybe. Like, I can't tell because you haven't moved there, and you're not supposed to put the miniature there to see. And so that's where it's like, all right, like, well, if you put your little yellow orange cylinder that you printed out there, I'm gonna pretend like that's not there because that's not there.
I'm gonna say this right now because I just thought about this immense trash talking smackdown that Rob can't defend himself. You guys just have to remember when we need judge calls at VetFest, don't even call. Rob's the judge. We ain't getting no calls.
It's okay. I went through all of LVO without needing one judge call. I think I go through VetFest without needing a judge call.
I was gonna say it was Yeah, it's I think you have to be aggressive with your opponent and telling them like you just did, Nick. Like I don't know, like you got to make the move. You gotta, you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Like, and I feel like a lot of people, and not just Rob in particular, just want to be reassured that like, oh, if you do this, that can't happen, right? And it's just like I'm not gonna give that to you because that's just takes away the whole element of my surprise that I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? And like that kind of gets into someone's head of just like, okay, well, since he agreed, now I kind of know what he's doing as well and what he wants to do. But Legion can be kind of convoluted sometimes. But yeah, I agree. Intent is
See, I've been being
yeah.
too nice because when I play people, they're like,
Hold on, hold
"Oh, no,
on,
no, no, no,
hold
no, no,
on.
no, no, hold on." Here's an example of me being too nice. When we played our game, JR, you're like, "What do I do about this forest? None of these trees come out." And I'm like, "No." And you're like, "So how do we do it with my dewbacks?" I could have been like, "Sorry, bro, you got to go around those trees." But I was like, "We can make them invisible. Put your invisible dewback right there." I'm being too nice. And even with some of the calls, like, "Well, I can do this and do this, right?" Yeah, sure. Like I needed you to use Nick's words of we need to find out. You do maybe try it. I don't know.
So
Like I've been way too lax on my rules though.
where was that version of Jose when I was on top of a building shooting down and you're just like, yeah, I'm shooting up, but you have no heavy cover. Where was that, Jose? Yeah, yeah.
I'm a different person now, dude. And to be honest, I've always been about the human error because there's been multiple times in our games where you zip Maul across and you're like, I'm in melee. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, I'm clearly in melee. And I push Maul's base back into your measuring tool for a sliver of an inch, and you're like,
Okay,
oh
all
yeah,
right. Now you're just coming up with them because that's
no,
never happened in any of our games.
yes,
Never happened. You're coming out
yeah,
with the left field and just like
no.
so.
I've become
Which
too
brings up our
nice.
topic, players etiquette. When do you be courteous to your opponent, and when do you be, lack of a better word, a dick to your opponent, right? Because this is very much a competitive game. Even at the casual levels, you want to win, right? I remember Nick, one time we played a game and I was playing Wookiees, a bunch of Wookiees, right? It was just a casual game, but that was a pretty intense game. It got intense in some parts. So it's like, how do you gauge that? How do you determine like, hey, we're just having fun, but at the same time, like, hey, don't push me around, you know?
Wait, that was an intense game? I was just having fun.
Nick's dropping F bombs. It was a fun
Wait,
game.
wait, when you played the Wookiees, that was intense? I think I slaughtered you pretty good. I can't imagine it was that intense.
Like I said, don't even give me. You're lucky my memory serves me wrong, but I just remember you won, and it
He
was
Did
won badly, is what he sounds
for the
like.
trophy. It was a real close
How
game,
do you get Wookiees
but
tabled?
like I remember there was one call that we had to make where my Wookiees was on a branch or a piece. Branch is like, can he be here? Can he not be here? It was one of those things where you had to decide, and it really mattered for the game of what was going to happen next. That could be detrimental to either side. We were both having fun. I didn't take no offense to any of the calls or anything, but you still want to win the game, right?
I never, so this may be hard to believe, I never want to win at any cost. I'm definitely more the player. I could lose every game, but if I lose it on the last turn, that was a fun game. Like being in a game, that's what I want to do. I want to be in a game. But kind of going to your question about etiquette, when should you be cursed? When should you be a dick? Well, technically the answer is you should never be mean to your opponent. You should always be courteous. There's no, but there's a way to go about it, right? There's a way to not be, uh, you know, aggressive or negative, even when you have to tell them, no, you can't do that anymore, right? There's a nice way of saying it. And, and when you're playing in LVO and you're in the top 8, yeah, I get it. It gets competitive and you need to remember your rules and you don't get take backs and all that kind of stuff, unless the opponent wants to give it to you, which is a nice thing for them to do, right? But if you're just playing a game, like if there's nothing on the line, I mean, you should let things kind of not just outright blatant doing things wrong, but letting things go if it doesn't affect it too much. But I don't know. I think there's a way to go about it, and it's sometimes it's hard to do it for sure. But I think, what was the example you brought up earlier? You said the example before the podcast, you were going to move.
Oh, ooh, put me on the spot.
It was, you moved and you gave them the option to do the standby and they didn't take it and you shot them and shot off the standby, right? Because they didn't
No,
realize they could shoot.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, don't play coy. Come on.
it was pretty much like my opponent didn't know my
Yeah.
unit could shoot, and because I gave him the option of just like, okay, I'm gonna take. Are you gonna get your standby? They said no. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna shoot. And he's just like, oh, that unit could shoot. It's like, yeah, in that case, I'm gonna take the standby, which was kind of like, well, I was hoping he didn't get a standby because then I would have shut off the standby, and that unit would have been dead in the water. But was one of those things where it's just like, we're just having fun. Go ahead, you could you could use the standby. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I think probably 9 times out of 10, you do that. You say, oh yeah. You use
Okay,
a standby.
so I'm gonna give you a scenario. Okay,
Mm.
all right. We're in turn 6, Nick. It's a game point. I move, take a standby. Now I got to get this point to win the game, but I need this standby to go off. You move, you can shoot me, and I don't know. And then you say, okay, you need your standby. I'm going to shoot you. Then I'm just like, oh, you can shoot. I'm going to use a standby. That's going to win me the game. What do you do?
Oh, I'd let you spin the standby.
You're
Yeah.
asking good guy Nick, bro. You know
Oh.
he's gonna give it to you.
Only because you haven't rolled dice. You have, and now I yes, it's a technically you don't have to let him spend that standby. But I probably would, especially if it's just a game. Like there's nothing on the line.
It's beating me, Nick.
Huh?
It's beating me though. You beat me.
I've beaten you.
I
I've
know.
beaten you.
No, I'm just saying. I think you're right. There's a way to like tell your opponent no. There's a way to be cordial and everything, but like, there's no but like I'm just saying like it's hard sometimes to not come off as a dick because like I've had plenty of my LVO games where my opponent just said something. I'm just like, no, and it's just like you can't. No matter what I say, it's not giving them their way, and it's just that's never a good feeling. It's just like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you this, right? And it's just like, oh man, that sucks.
No, it shouldn't suck because you have to look at the inverse. Like if it's other people, they're not going to give it to you. You're doing exactly what you're doing in the environment you're in. You're in a tournament. Like they missed it. You called it. You're not giving it to them. They would do the same thing to you.
I think that is okay in like a highly competitive. So that same standby example, I think that is okay in a competitive tournament to say, okay, I'm going to shoot and not let him take it back because there is a higher level of expectation that you know what my units do. You have a higher knowledge of the game. I mean, you're not getting to top 8 because you're just playing casually. Like so there is a higher expectation of playing it right and knowing the rules. I think that's okay. There's still a nice way to say it, but I think that's okay in those circumstances.
So for me, it's more than top 8 because, for instance, if I have no plans on winning Vetfest, even if I do get to day 2, if whatever, no point at all am I thinking I'm gonna win Vetfest. So my chance for LVO is the last chance qualifier, where I have to compete in a gauntlet of losing you're out, and then get into the tournament, and all that before even top 8. So the competitive environment starts day 1 before top 8. I think if you're vying in a competitive format to make anything happen, like that's always active. And if you're in a 2v2 game mode, if you're in a side game mode, yeah, that stuff is more lax. But to me, it all comes down to my opponent. My last LVO, for instance, like I had wonderful opponents most of the time. And so when it came to being and even in that competitive environment, I made day 2 and I had a shot at making, day 3, but I choked. But in all those games, I was very cordial, very cool with my opponents, because to me, it's how you present yourself. Like if you're having fun, you're playing around, and we're having a good time, the game's good, you're not being a jerk. Like I was more lax in some of those games where I gave opponents stuff that I probably shouldn't have. But then my final game, I got insulted before the game even started and became a complete asshole. And then
Language.
sorry. For those of you who don't know, Nick listens while he paints, and hearing a-hole blast across his holy house, not good. But I was a complete a-hole in that last game, and then in front of Rob and some judges, I had the game, I could have won it, and I was just like, I conceded. Because I'm horrible at math, and I thought the guy was fighting to get in the top day 3, top 8. And I just changed my tune mid-game. So I think that it just, for me, it depends on the opponent. Like if it's JR, screw JR. I'm not giving him jack shit. Language, Jack S. But anybody else, like, if it's Nick, yeah, Nick, go ahead. Smash me with Grogu. I got you.
And in a competitive term, there's actually a really easy way to solve it without hurting anyone's feelings. Call the judge.
That hurts feelings too.
But that is a neutral way for it to happen, where a player shouldn't hold that against you. So, like, okay, should I allow this take back? And I don't really want to, but I don't really want to say it, or I'm not even sure if I want to give it. Then call the judge. Hey, judge, this is what happened. What should we do? Right? Have them make a ruling. That's what they're there for. That's what they want to do. They want to help. Right? They want to help these games run smoothly. You at least have that in a competitive environment, that you don't even necessarily even have to make that decision if you think it's going to be contentious.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think we're talking more about casual. It's just
Sure.
like you're at your buddy's place. I know in the past I bamboozled some people, and it's always still bad moments. Just like that's the rule, and it's just like, man, I wish I didn't do that, because then like I feel like I'm responsible.
Legion scrub.
Well, I feel like I'm responsible for losing players to Legion. Like they don't play no more because of that. I'm just like,
oh yeah, you've definitely killed some players off. You have. I've watched you do it.
It's the worst feeling in the world. It's like, I want you to love the game. I want you to play. I want to grow the community.
But I want to love winning, and I love winning, and I'm gonna kill you and win.
Yeah, you can't say you love the community and smash everybody.
Hold on.
No, I'm half joking on that. And kind of going to casual play. And again, it obviously depends on your knowledge of the opponent, but you could even take into account, who am I playing? What is their knowledge, right? So is this a brand new unit that just came out last week, and this is the first time they've ever seen it? They don't even know it has what it has, right? Then it's like, okay, I get it. You didn't know that. Versus, oh, they didn't know, Luke Skywalker has charge, right? Well, no, you do, right? You knew that. So, there's also, I think, a little balance there on who you're playing, what is their knowledge, if you want to allow something.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I do most of my games. It's just like, okay, who am I playing against? What are they? How know the game? Okay, yeah. Let's just have fun with this.
And that's why, because Rob has said he is very knowledgeable, I didn't let him take anything back. It's Rob, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Rob?
How bad was he upset about the game?
Oh, he was so upset.
So how do you feel about his dislike of Courage 1 troopers? He's made it very clear that he hates, dislikes, does not think Courage 1 troopers are worth a damn. What is your response to that?
Well, after he got his Courage 2 range troopers served to shoot the other ones, I don't think it really matters.
Because my thing is, like, I don't want to see everything with Courage 2, because I think suppression should matter. It doesn't matter anymore, really, or at least at the very, very far extreme, it feels like it doesn't matter. So I got no problem seeing Courage 1 units. I think Courage 1 units are just as much of a valuable piece to the game as Courage 2. But the thing to me is, like, those Courage 1 units have a role, and the role is, I'm naked and I'm gonna do this objective, and I'm gonna let everybody else do the heavy lifting. Like I think stormtroopers, naked stormtroopers, 4-man naked stormtroopers are like primo bang for your buck for objective units, because they're 44 points. They got red saves, and they're gonna just be sturdy when they're grabbing objectives. Because I personally don't think if you can afford to not pay a Courage 2 tax, for an objective, waste it on an objective, I think that Courage 1 units based and their costs actually is actually a thing that makes the game great in terms of being able to cut costs and stuff here.
It's funny because I actually agree with you, Jose. I think Courage 1 is perfectly fine. I always get both my actions on B1s all the time. I don't know why everyone complains.
You're playing a different game. You're playing a different game. No, yeah, yeah, you definitely have Courage 1's fine. That's totally fine. That's part of the game. Yeah, not everyone should, supersede. Not everyone's going to exclude the rules, right? The rules are there to hinder units, right? And so I love the suppression mechanic. From the very beginning, when I started playing Legion, it was something very different. I came from Warhammer. They don't really have something like that in 40K, so this was something very new for me to learn, and I love it. I think it's a fun mechanic.
Do you prefer the old suppression rules or the new ones?
The old, for sure, because it kills my Pathfinders, and it killed all my Djinn cards.
In what way?
The panicking, how you panic.
Yeah.
Because now, because and let's change it again. Because you panic all the time, right?
Yeah.
So even though I played Jin's card that says she's not suppressed at the start of activation, she could still be panicked later on. So like, if my Pathfinders are holding an objective or Jin's holding an objective and she's panicked, then she's doesn't count anymore.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I don't see it coming too much into play in games, but like there's always that element of strategy of just like, okay, I can't kill them, but if I panic them, I shut them out.
And I loved it when they used to run. I hate that they don't move anymore.
Yes.
What's funny? I actually liked the not running part because I always felt bad when people ran away because it just like, okay, you only got 6 turns, and the moment you run backwards, that's a turn down for you. And like you lose 2 turns, right? You lose the turn that you panicked, then you have to move back, and now you have to take a turn to get back into the action, let alone get to where you need to go.
But I like that it was more. But I liked that
you could panic onto a KP though and still count.
I like that it was more severe in that sense. And also only checked at that one time, right? It wasn't panic check all the time. You only checked panic once, right? Remember, if you only checked panic at the start of activation. Right. So, I liked it better. I liked it better.
I think it's a nice change. I just feel it always is a feel bad movement when you got someone running away, let alone if they run off the board. That was horrible.
That was the best.
That was horrible.
That was the best.
Oh
man, that was fun.
Don't put your units where they're gonna run off the board, especially the spurring panicking dewbacks.
Right? Then they panic off. Like, nah, I like that change. I will stick up for that change. That change was cool. They just stayed there, took off some suppression, and continue the game. It's the same reason why you can't force push units off the board. Like that was back when I was first learning. I thought that's what you could do, and I was always trying to find an opportunity to do that. Like, I'm sorry, you just lost this whole 100 unit you just spent points on. Like, he's gone. He's off the board.
Yeah, that's how everyone played when it first started. Yeah.
So, well, Rob, even though we picked on you, man, we love you. So don't take anything personal.
Don't hurt us at VetFest.
If Jose calls a judge call, make sure it doesn't go in his favor.
I'm just gonna call Roman.
Roman. It's either Roman's playing and Rob judging, or Rob's playing and Roman judging.
So now it's even worse. Rob's gonna let Roman judge, and he's gonna kick all our butts.
One of the two, man. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to play. I don't know what I'm bringing. I'm so lost right now. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
I know who I'm bringing.
I know who I'm bringing.
So, okay, so you both know your list that you're bringing.
I'll say my list right now. I don't care.
Oh man, I don't. I never know.
I have no desire to go in the Invitational LVO. I'm playing in the Grand Tournament. I want all the prizes.
Well, you still could play it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you can't. If you play in the Invitational, you won't get the AMG prizes.
Well, no, because so like, let's say I won the invite, right? I can still play in the Grand Tournament and the Invitational, right?
Yeah.
You could just the first day though.
But I
The
thought
first day is the LCQ.
I
Yeah,
guess
first day is LCQ.
there was no LCQ ticket. So
it was the grand tournament.
I could be wrong, but there's just a grand tournament. The grand tournament is that the 2 days, and they're going to invite the top players from the grand tournament to join the invitational tournament. That's the LCQ part. There's not like a separate LCQ. So if you join the invitational, you're no longer in the grand tournament. So you're not like continuing to get those AMG prizes. So I want to stay in the grand tournament.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's working. I'm who knows, but that's
no, because I remember when we had LJ on, he said that there's a last chance qualifier.
I think that's the grand tournament.
That's the grand tournament.
Okay, well, same thing.
If I'm not, mistaken, the LVO Invitational plays on Sunday.
It's Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday.
So yeah, so I feel like the first round on Saturday is to determine who's going to be in the LVO Invitationals, and then the Invitationals will start while the other people still play the grand tournament.
Yeah, so that was my understanding. So Friday the grand tournament.
Oh yeah, you're
starts.
right. It's the grand tournament, and then the top 8 from there get invited into the
after day 1, right? So on Friday, we're gonna play 4 games in the grand tournament, and then you could go the invitational for the next day, or you're staying in the grand tournament for the next day.
Hey, Rome was freaking top 4 last year after day 1. So I'm fully a Rome believer. Rome could pull that off again, dude.
The bigger question is, Nick, are you bringing Grogu again?
Oh yeah, not a doubt.
What if Gross Crew comes out by then? Then you're gonna have to make a tough decision.
No, nothing's coming out. They've already announced what the fourth quarter stuff is. Nothing's coming out that soon. Yeah, unless they surprise us. Unless they have a surprise box, which they seem to only do for Shatterpoint. So.
The baby, of course. I just think all white saves need to go down in points. Like we should be running white saves army should be running 12 acts against red saves that are 8. Like white saves die so much more faster. There's so much more fire output out there.
I agree that all white save armies should go down except for CIS and except for Shadow Collective.
The only thing that's white save in Shadow Collective is bikes.
Yeah, but I want them to go down.
I wouldn't even count them as a white save army. It would just be CIS and whatever, in my opinion, whatever the majority of saves in a faction is what their identity is.
Okay. Well, I don't want CIS points to go down either, so just rebels.
Make my D1 back to 36.
I don't even really want points to go down. That's not. I mean, yeah.
You want something.
I want something. So I want a cool unit. So hopefully the Rebel Cell unit is a cool unit.
I don't even think that's going to be enough. I feel like Rebels need either a whole redo, like a rework of their faction, or they go down in points. That's the only way.
Or they give them contingencies. That's my idea.
Well, yeah, and I like that idea, right? That would, to me, would identify as a rework, because like literally your lowest core is 40 points. And the lowest core in Empire is 44. Like, how's that fair? For 4 more points, you get red saves all day, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything else, Jose? Anything you got for us?
Nah, man. I'm just excited to have Nick on, man. We were supposed to have our fearless leader Roman on, but he got sidetracked. But Roman did say he'll be on the next one, so we'll get Roman on the next one, and we can welcome our fearless leader back with open arms. And it should actually be just before VetFest, so he'll have all the details and stuff that anybody would need. And come out to VetFest, man. We are trying to build our community. We are trying to have one of those cool events like people like to go to, like SCO, ACO, all those good cool events. Like you have to start somewhere, and if VetFest being helping out military veterans, like it does, and playing Legion, like it doesn't get any better than that, man. Come throw some dice, play some Star Wars, and hear some good war stories, man.
It's gonna be fun. So, but anyways, any last words, Nick?
We still like you, Rob.
My last word would be 3D minis are okay. Bring a baby. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. And thank you for those who listen. Try to get the best if you can. Anyways, see you guys.
Bye.
Later.